The year is 1974. Television sets glow in living rooms across the globe. Jet engines scream across the skies. Cities rise from rubble. The calendar has turned nearly 30 years since World War II ended. Deep in the jungles of Lubang Island in the Philippines, one man refuses to believe it. His name is Hiroo Onoda. He's 52 years old. His uniform is patched with bark and fiber. His rifle is spotless. His bayonet is sharpened to perfection. He moves through the jungle at dawn. He checks a tripwire strung between two trees. The wire is still taut. No one has passed. He adjusts a snare near a game trail. The mechanism clicks into place. He continues moving. Every step is deliberate. Every sound is measured. Time stopped for him in 1945. For 29 years, he's been fighting a war that no longer exists. The Last Orders. December 1944, Lubang Island, Philippines. The Imperial Japanese Army is losing ground. American forces are closing in, island by island. Lieutenant Hiroo Onoda arrives on Lubang. He's 22 years old, an intelligence officer trained in guerrilla warfare at Nakano School. He's been taught to survive behind enemy lines, to read maps in the dark, to identify edible plants, to remain undetected for months. He stands before Major Yoshimi Taniguchi in a small command post, a single room, a map pinned to the wall. Taniguchi points to the mountains. Conduct guerrilla operations, disrupt the enemy, live off the land. Never surrender, no matter what happens, no matter what you hear. You are forbidden from taking your own life. You are forbidden from surrendering to the enemy. You will wait for orders from me and me alone. Onoda salutes. The Major leaves the island the next day, December 27, 1994. That is the last time they meet. Months later, American forces land on Lubang. Artillery shells pound the Japanese positions. The garrison collapses within days. Survivors scatter into the jungle. Most surrender within a week. Onoda does not. He retreats into the mountains with 3 other soldiers, Corporal Shoichi Shimada, Private First Class Kinshichi Kozuka, Private Yuichi Akatsu. They carry their rifles, they carry ammunition, they carry rations for 2 weeks, they carry Major Taniguchi's final order. They dig shelters in the mountainside, they cover the entrances with branches, they establish observation posts on the ridges. They wait. The Leaflet Delusion. On August 15, 1945, the war ends. Emperor Hirohito's voice crackles over the radio. Japan has surrendered. Across the Pacific, soldiers lay down their arms. Prisoners walk free. The world begins to rebuild. Onoda doesn't hear the broadcast. He's in the jungle. His radio stopped working in June. The battery terminal's corroded. It produces no sound. October 1945, leaflets rain from the sky. American planes drop them by the hundreds. They drift through the canopy. They land in the trees. They scatter across the ground. Onoda picks one up. The text is in Japanese. The war has ended. Japan has surrendered. Return to your families. He holds it to the light. Japanese military orders follow specific formatting rules. Headers are aligned left. Signatures appear at the bottom right. This leaflet has centered text. The signature uses a printed stamp. Real orders from Tokyo Command use hand signatures. He examines the paper quality. It's too thin. Military documents use heavier stock. He folds the leaflet twice. He places it in the fire. The paper curls and burns. More leaflets follow over the years. 1946, 1950, 1955. Each time Onoda applies the same analysis. He checks the formatting, he examines the paper, he looks for inconsistencies in the language, he marks each consistency with his finger, the centered text, the printed stamp, the thin paper. The leaflets continue to fall. He continues to burn them. Meanwhile, survival requires action. Their rice rations are gone. The nearest farm is 2 kilometers down the mountain. Search parties patrol during daylight. Onoda and Shimada move at 2 a.m. instead. The main trail is exposed. Footprints show clearly in the mud. They move through dense brush on the ridge instead. Branches scrape their uniforms. Progress is slow. It takes 3 hours to cover 2 kilometers. They reach the edge of a rice paddy. The farmhouse is dark. Onoda signals Shimada to wait. He crawls forward on his stomach. The mud is cold. His hands pull stalks from the ground. He fills a cloth sack. A dog barks from the farmhouse 50 meters away. Onoda freezes. He presses flat against the earth. The dog barks again, then stops. Onoda continues. He fills the sack. He crawls backward. They disappear into the jungle before dawn. The Shrinking Squad. September 1949, 4 years after the war ended, the camp is quiet. Akatsu sits by the fire. He stares at the flames. Onoda addresses him twice. Akatsu doesn't respond. That night, Onoda wakes to silence. Akatsu's rifle is gone. His boots are gone. His pack is gone. Onoda tracks his footprints at first light. They lead down the mountain. They follow a stream. They stop at the edge of a village. Akatsu surrendered. Now they are 3. May 7th, 1954. Onoda and his men move through the lowlands near the coast. They're scouting for supplies. A Philippine army patrol spots them crossing an open field. Soldiers shout. Onoda signals his men to run. Gunfire erupts behind them. Shimada doesn't make it to the tree line. A bullet hits him in the chest. He falls. Onoda turns back. He drags Shimada into the trees. Blood soaks through Shimada's uniform. His breathing is shallow. His eyes lose focus. He dies within minutes. Onoda and Kozuka bury him in the jungle. They pile stones over the grave. They mark it with a notch in a tree. Now they are 2. 18 years pass. Their equipment degrades. Rifle firing pins break. Onoda learns to make new ones. He finds a nail in an abandoned shed. He heats it over a fire until it glows orange. He hammers it flat on a rock. He files it with a rough stone. He tests the shape against the rifle chamber. It doesn't fit. He files it again. It takes hours. The new firing pin fits. The rifle works. Their boots fall apart. They make sandals from tire rubber. They tie them with strips of bark. They hunt for food. Kozuka builds a snare from wire. He positions it on a game trail. He covers it with leaves. He ties the trigger line to a bent sapling. A wild boar walks into the trap the next morning. The wire tightens around its leg. The sapling snaps upright. The boar is suspended off the ground. Kozuka approaches. He finishes it with his bayonet. They have meat for a week. They evade patrols. A helicopter flies over the canopy. Onoda hears the rotors 2 kilometers away. He signals Kozuka. They move under the thickest trees. They lie flat. They cover themselves with branches. The helicopter passes directly overhead. The downdraft shakes the leaves. The helicopter continues. It doesn't circle back. October 19th, 1972. Onoda and Kozuka approach a rice field near the coast. They're looking for supplies. Philippine police are waiting. They've been tracking the 2 men for weeks. Shots are fired. Kozuka is hit. He dies before Onoda can reach him. Onoda drags his body into the jungle. He buries Kozuka next to Shimada. He places stones over the grave. He carves another notch in the tree. After 27 years, Hiroo Onoda is alone. The Modern Intruder. February 1974, a young man steps off a boat onto Lubang Island. His name is Norio Suzuki. He's 24 years old. He's wearing a bright orange shirt. He carries a camera and a backpack. He tells locals he's searching for Lieutenant Onoda. The locals warn him. Onoda shot a farmer in 1954. He burned a house in 1963. He fires at anyone who enters the jungle. Suzuki thanks them. He hikes into the jungle anyway. He camps near a stream. He builds a fire visible from a kilometer away. He calls out Onoda's name in Japanese, loudly, repeatedly. For 3 days, nothing happens. February 24th, morning. Suzuki wakes to pressure against his temple, a rifle barrel. Onoda stands over him. He rests his finger on the trigger. The barrel is pointed at Suzuki's chest. Center mass, standard engagement distance, 3 feet. Suzuki doesn't move. He speaks in Japanese. His voice is calm. Lieutenant Onoda, I'm not your enemy. I'm from Japan. Onoda doesn't lower the rifle. He scans Suzuki's gear. No weapon belt, no boots, canvas sneakers instead. The orange shirt is visible from 100 meters. No soldier wears orange in the jungle. Suzuki's hands are empty. They're not positioned for defense. Suzuki continues talking slowly. The war ended. 1949, Japan surrendered. The emperor announced it on the radio. Onoda's jaw tightens. Search party said the same words in 1950. Loudspeakers repeated them in 1960. Leaflets carry the same message. Suzuki reaches into his backpack, slowly. His movements are deliberate, non-threatening. He pulls out a newspaper. February 1974. He unfolds it. He shows Onoda the front page. Japanese text, photographs of Tokyo, modern buildings, automobiles. Onoda takes the newspaper. He examines it. The print quality is high. The photographs are detailed. The date reads February 1974. He's seen forged documents before. Those used old printing presses, blurry text. This one is sharp. Every character is clear. He places it in his pack. Suzuki asks a question. What would it take for you to believe the war is over? Onoda lowers the rifle slightly. He speaks for the first time. Orders from Major Taniguchi. Only he can relieve me of my duty. Suzuki nods. I'll find him. I'll bring him here. Onoda steps back. He vanishes into the tree line. No sound, no trace. Suzuki packs his gear. He hikes back to the village. He flies to Japan that same night. He contacts the government. The search for Major Taniguchi begins. The Sword and the Surrender. March 9, 1974. Major Yoshimi Taniguchi steps off a plane in Manila. He's 74 years old. He's wearing a civilian suit. A retired officer, he hasn't worn a uniform in 30 years. He hasn't given orders in 30 years. Today, he's been asked to do both one final time. Philippine officials escort him to Lubang Island. Suzuki walks behind him. They hike into the jungle. They reach a predetermined location, a clearing near the stream. Onoda is waiting. He stands at the edge of the trees. When he sees Taniguchi, his posture changes. His back straightens, his heels click together. He snaps to attention. His right hand rises to his temple. A salute, military precision maintained for 30 years. Taniguchi steps forward. He unfolds a piece of paper. The words are typed. Official, final. His voice is steady. In accordance with the Imperial Japanese Army Special Operations, all combat activity is to cease immediately. You are hereby relieved of your duties. The war is over. Return home. Onoda stands motionless. 29 years. He blinks once. His hands move to his belt. They reach for his sword. He unsheathes his samurai sword. The blade catches the light. It gleams, perfectly maintained. He's polished it every week for 3 decades, sharpened it, oiled it, protected it from rust. The sword is a family heirloom, passed down through generation. He holds it horizontally, both hands. He presents it to the Philippine general standing beside Taniguchi. The general accepts it. Onoda steps back. He unslings his rifle, Arisaka Type 99, serial number visible on the receiver. The barrel is clean. The mechanism functions. He places it on the ground. Next, his ammunition. 500 rounds stored in cloth pouches, still dry. Next, his hand grenades, 3 of them carefully wrapped. Finally, his orders from 1944, written on paper, preserved in waterproof cloth. The ink is faded but legible. He lays each item down, one by one. The war is over. The legacy of the lone wolf. March 10, 1974, Hiroo Onoda walks out of the jungle for the first time in 29 years. Camera flashes explode around him. Reporters shout questions in languages he doesn't understand. The world he returns to is unrecognizable. Skyscrapers, highways, computers. Japan is transformed from a defeated empire into an economic superpower. Onoda is granted a full pardon by Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos for the deaths and property damage caused by his decades in hiding. He returns to Japan, a hero to some, a relic to others. He struggles to adapt. The discipline, the mission, the clarity of war, all gone. In 1975, he emigrates to Brazil and starts a cattle ranch, seeking the simplicity he lost. He returns to Lubang Island in 1996, donating $10,000 to a local school. He meets with families affected by his guerrilla actions, offering apologies and aid. He dies in Tokyo in 2014 at the age of 91, the last Japanese holdout to surrender after World War II. His story raises a question that has no easy answer. Was he a loyal soldier or a man trapped by orders he couldn't break? Was his dedication honor or delusion? Perhaps it was both. Hiroo Onoda was a man who forgot to stop fighting, and in doing so, became the ghost of a war the world had already forgotten.